Thank you. Wow, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a great, great day as we celebrate full parental equality in Massachusetts. We're here today to say that full parental equality is here to stay in rights, in protections, and soon in law. We're grateful to all of our partners in the legislature for their leadership. I want to start on behalf of our fabulous Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll and myself, thank the leaders in the Senate. We're grateful to the Speaker and to the Senate President. We're grateful to the original sponsors of this legislation, because this has been an effort for some time now, as many of you know, and we really thank our champions, including Representative Sarah Peake. Here you are. Yeah. It's nine terms in the legislature for Rep. Peake, so this is a great way to go out. Congratulations. To Senator Julian Cyr, Representative Hannah Kane, Senator Bruce Tarr, Representative Kay Khan. This is also a great way to go out. And Representative Adam Scanlon. Also on the conference committee, we want to thank our Speaker Pro Tem, Kate Hogan. Rep. Michael Day and Senator Will Brownsberger. We're also delighted to be joined today by Senator Eldridge and Representative Cairns, and I'm sure there are others out there. Today is also about celebrating the work of the advocates who have to stay at this work for days, for months, for years on end sometimes to see something through on behalf of residents in the state, and it's really, really incredible the work that was done. I want to thank GLAAD, our legal champions for decades. The great legal team at GLAAD. Joining them to create a community of support, of course, the All Paths Family Building. And finally, to all of the members of the Massachusetts Parentage Act Coalition, thank you. Most of all, we're just really, really grateful to all of the parents and children and families who are here today. It takes a lot to create, to support, to grow a family, and your courage has ensured that future families will not have to endure some of the same experiences that some of you may have had to endure. Your feelings of exclusion, the unnecessary obstacles and barriers that were there, all the while you're trying to do something good, something great, right? And so I just really appreciate everybody who stuck through it and showed others the way, been incredible role models and representatives, and today helped us get to where we need to be as a state. So thank you to our parents and
with unprecedented and alarming actions in other states that strip away rights of LGBTQ people and our families. Here in Massachusetts, our outdated, our heterocentric parentage laws were a real barrier, a real everyday concern for tens of thousands of families living in the state. And no longer will families like mine be at risk because of the Mass Parentage Act that the governor is signing into law today. This is so huge and important, and you know, This bill is personal. This bill is personally to me and to my family. Because of this law going into effect, my sister and sister-in-law are pregnant with their second kid. My sister-in-law is not going to have to legally adopt, her soon-to-be daughter, right? Because of the actions we've taken here today. So this is something where it took a whole lot of effort, a whole family of folks advocating here in this building, making the case in a bipartisan fashion to get this done. I am so grateful to Governor Healey, to your entire administration, birthday girl, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, the whole Healey-Driscoll administration for being partners with us on this on day one to get this done. Really cannot say enough good things about the very swift, efficient conference committee that we had. A big thank you to Chair Day, Diane in his office, for making this happen in swift time, not letting the clock run out on this one. My fellow conferees, Kate Hogan, who has been a partner on so much here in this building in leading our mighty 10-member strong LGBTQ caucus. Hannah Kane also served as a conferee, really showing our bipartisan approach here. Senator Brownsberger will, just a tremendous partner on so much, as well as our minority leader, Bruce Tarr. I want to thank Jamie Eldridge as well, Senator Eldridge, for being here today, who did so much to get this bill out of committee. And then I want to especially laud and thank my friend and mentor, Sarah Peak. Yes, as whatever's happening on the third floor, just the appreciation and admiration that we should all have for Sarah in her 18 years in this building, being an example, paving the way, right? Folks like me and more and others, right? We all are serving on those who've gone before us. And then I want to also thank the Senate President, who I spoke with this morning. I want to thank the Speaker for making sure that this got done. And then the tremendous coalition of people who made this happen, our entire coalition, but especially GLAAD, especially Polly Closure. Especially Arlene Isaacson, who is in Bratt Green, I may add. Very, very on brand, Arlene. And the All Paths Family Building Coalition, all of this making this happen. I want to recognize Representative Donahue, who is here as well. And I'm now going to turn this over to my friend, Representative Kate Hogan. Kate Hogan and I have been leading with our 10 members in the LGBTQ caucus, and I'm getting a lot done this session, right? Not just the Parentage Act. The governor spoke about the provisions that were in the budget. There's also provisions around Gender X that we got done, unprecedented levels of funding. We are not resting on our laurels here in Massachusetts, and I could not be more grateful for my friendship and partnership with our Speaker Pro Tem from the House, Representative Kate Hogan.
Good afternoon, everyone. You know, passing the Massachusetts Parentage Act this session was really a priority for so many of the LGBTQ rights champions in Massachusetts. We were joined by teams of advocates, attorneys, assisted reproductive rights advocates, domestic abuse survivors, veterans, scholars, and others. We're grateful to leader Sarah Peak from the House. Sarah is a dear, dear friend. She will be missed, but we are so happy that she helped make marriage equality happen 20 years ago, and she was instrumental in seeing this bill through to the finish. So quite a career, quite a remarkable career. I'd like to thank Rep. Hannah Kane, an ally and a friend who can make the Republican Party fun. We are always so grateful for all of the help and all of the work that Hannah brings to her job. She knows who she is and she knows what she's here to do. Judiciary Chair Mike Day, the guy you always want him on your side, not on your side. And he had a remarkable session. And with this bill, he met numerous stakeholders and continued to work into the wee hours of the night till we had it done. So thank you, Mike Day. To the LGBT caucus that you know, we keep making it happen and defining who we are and the bills that are important to us, and we'll continue to do that throughout the years. Speaker Mariano, who announced at the House take up this legislation along with House Ways and Means Chair Michael Witz, he kept his word and he brought the bill to the House floor for a vote. All the brave parents and families who stepped forward to share their experiences and show how necessary it was for us to update our laws. Arlene Isaacson, co-chair of the Massachusetts Gay and Lesbian Political Caucus, lead lobbyist, who I have had many conversations with walking to and from the chamber over many months, and now we're here. So thank you, Arlene. All of the advocates who championed this bill, and of course, our Governor, Maura Healey. We know this bill safeguards the rights of all families who use reproductive technologies to have children and gives them the legal protections they need and that they deserve. And so it is my great pleasure to now introduce Polly Crozier from GLAAD. We would not be standing here today if not for the many, many courageous families and tireless advocates. One of those advocates is Polly, Director of the Family Advocacy of GLBTQ Legal Advocates and Defenders. Please welcome Polly to the microphone. Thank you, everyone. Love is love. Love is love.
I mean, this is a completely amazing, wonderful day. It is so joyous to be celebrating here together a new law that so positively impacts all children and families in the Commonwealth. I think we all know that family is foundational, and there are so many ways to have a family. For too long, unfortunately, the law has not recognized all of us. Massachusetts led the country on marriage equality 20 years ago, yet remaining gaps in our statutory protections still caused tremendous harm to Massachusetts children and families. I've seen these gaps in my law practice, at GLBTQ Legal Advocates and Defenders, and in my own family. LGBTQ families, for one, have had to jump through maddening and humiliating hoops to be protected. Others have had literally no way to protect their children. Children were unnecessarily swept into the family regulation system. They were taken out of state, away from a loving parent without recourse. Children languished for years without the protection of parentage, but no more, no more. Now all children and families have equality in parentage. The Massachusetts Parentage Act truly means dignity, it means security, it means equal protection under the law. It means access to essential benefits, particularly economic benefits that everyone needs to thrive, like access to health care, access to Social Security benefits, medical decision-making, and so many more. It has been GLAAD's tremendous honor to co-lead the MPA Coalition these 7 years with All Paths Family Building. I think all of us in this coalition have held and heard so many honestly painful stories from family members, from children, from parents, but we have been able to witness incredible grit, incredible spirit, as we never, ever gave up on a vision of Massachusetts that included and protected and really loved every child. So thank you, thank you, thank you to the many children and families, two of whom are here with us to speak today. Thank you to the almost 70 organizations that make up our coalition. They have worked tirelessly to pass this legislation over the years. There are LGBTQ groups, there are children's rights groups, there are reproductive rights groups, there are hospitals, there are medical societies, there are local foundations and businesses. So many people working together, understanding the importance of this legislation to the well-being of children and families throughout the Commonwealth. And of course, thank you to the members of the legislature who voted unanimously for this bill. The House and Senate leadership were phenomenal supports, and Judiciary Chairs Day and Eldridge and their staff, they dug in and committed so hard to passing this legislation this session. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you so much, David. To our lead sponsors, you all are fabulous. To the Attorney General, to the Governor, the Lieutenant Governor, you have been with us literally every step of the way, and we won't forget your leadership, because this has never been a political issue. In Massachusetts, this has been a moral imperative to protect our children and families both in Massachusetts and wherever they go. Because in the past 7 years since we first filed this bill, unfortunately the country, for some, has turned back the time clock and become uncertain and dangerous for many of us, particularly LGBTQ families. And I think this bill, which is based on the Uniform Parentage Act of 2017 and has been successfully implemented in other states, is a joyous and crystal clear sign the Commonwealth is not going back. The Commonwealth is committed to being a state where all children and families are respected, included, and protected. So thank you so much, Governor Healey, for welcoming us to the People's House to celebrate today. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Karen Partanen. Her story and her Supreme Judicial Court case helped launch this effort. That was a 2016 case, launched this effort for inclusion for all families in our statutes. And her story is really similar to many other LGBTQ families who will now be protected equally under the law. So, Karen.
Thank you. This day is huge. It was 10 years ago that my partner and I decided to go our separate ways, and at that point, that was when I was told that I wasn't my children's parent anymore. There was outdated laws, and as devastating as it was for me, just imagine how that was for a 2- and a 5-year-old who didn't understand. They're like, where did mommy go? Why did mommy just abandon me? So here we are today. I mean, I did everything I could. Some of you may remember, I knocked on every door. I called every person I could think of. I emailed, who can help? Who can help? I don't have any money. Who can help? But I did. I drained all of my bank accounts. I was eating out of food pantries. I was doing whatever I possibly could to make sure that the rights of my children were secure. And ultimately, the Supreme Court did decide that in 2016. My children are not here right now because they are living their best lives off at summer camp, doing what kids should do, but otherwise they would be here. But because of, my family was protected, there was still so much work to be done. I joined on to the Massachusetts Parentage Coalition, which we just said we got to pass this. There has to be done. There were families out there that were irreversible damage that was being done to this separation. There was financial burdens. There was, anything that you couldn't imagine what these families were going through, and these children, they just didn't understand what happened to one of their parents. So here we are today on a happy note that they don't have to worry about that anymore in Massachusetts because of thank you to all of the legislators who passed this. This was just amazing. Thank you to the Healey-Driscoll administration for getting this signed. This is such a big day, and no other family has to go through what my family went through. We have a happy family now, but it was a tough time getting there. So thank you. And I want to, for another perspective, I want to introduce Darmani, who can give you the other side of the perspective of what families go through.
Well, first of all, good afternoon. My name is Darmani Jimenez. I just graduated from Boston Prep in June, and in the fall, I'll be attending LaSalle University out in Newton. I live in Mission Hill, grew up in Charlestown. Boston's been my home my entire life. And I'm so happy to finally be here today after first testifying in front of the committee in 5th grade, to finally be here celebrating the enactment of this bill. Like I said, I've been supporting this since I was in 5th grade, pleading with adults to have my family recognized legally and deserving of protections as any other family. My mom, Kylie, has raised me since birth, who was a close friend of my biological mother, who loves me deeply, but as most people, and as I do, have faced mental health challenges and needed help raising me and my siblings. My mom, Kylie, she stepped in from day one. She's been there for me through my best times and worst times. She's always helped me put a roof over my head, clothes on my back. Everything I have is because she's provided it for me. And she's even somehow got me through online school, which was and for lack of better words, a pain in the ass. Day in and day out, she's helped raise me to help me become the man I am today. She went through the long, expensive process of being established as our de facto parent in court, but that didn't give her the recognition as our full legal parent. Equal protection under the law is something I learned about in school, and I was actually able to educate some of my teachers last year on, which isn't always that you get to educate your teachers on something. So, but my family's always had the shorter end of the stick, the fewer rights and protections than other families. At the end of the day, I haven't seen her as anything other than my parent. She's always been there for me, my rock, and nothing can put into words how much I love you. So, our family may not look like other families, and yeah, we came together in a non-traditional day, but at the end of the day, we're still a family. And we know that, and now, thanks to the Senate, the House, Governor Healey, the law is going to recognize it too. I'm so grateful to Governor Healey, Polly, everybody that's put in the work to get us to this point that we're at right now. And thank you to all the families, all the other advocates that have been here, like I said, putting in the work. So thank you for helping Massachusetts finally join the rest of New England in having these protections. And with that, I'd like to hand it back to Governor Healey.
Oh, wow. Well, that, Darmani and Karen really say it all. And thank you so much for sharing your stories with us today. This is the exciting part of it. I was thinking about what to give the LG for her birthday, and this is a pretty good gift, right? Yeah. So we're going to move to the signing of this. Is that right? All right, great.
Coming to you.
Yeah.